Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and here they are. The Epiphone Les Paul Custom inspired by Gibson on my right, and the Gibson Les Paul Custom. So let's check out some tones and see if Epiphone is at the level of Gibson. Okay, right now I'm using a Marshall, the SL40, and I can show you the settings that I'm using right now. I have a bunch of pedals that you guys probably can't see here, but I'll take a picture. They're all off. There's a little bit of reverb from the amp, and this is the Epiphone. Oh, I mean, this is the Gibson, sorry. So they are really good because I'm mistaking them. And there's a noise suppressor and pretty much it. Okay, so I'm starting with the clean channel. First things first, regarding the guitars, they're basically the same thing in aspect, you know. I don't know if you guys can see them well like this, but they're very similar, right? So much so that I just thought that this one was the Epiphone. The thing that I noticed is the paint job here on the Epiphone is totally black, and on the Gibson you can, although it's black, you can see the grain of the wood. That's a cool thing. Then on the back you have the medallion here on the custom, and then on the Epiphone you have that sticker. Probably you guys can't see it. No, I'm mistaken again because of the camera. Saying Epiphone, Gibson custom, and that's pretty much it. Nothing special. The Epiphone is a little bit thinner on the body than the Gibson, okay? The neck is a little bit thinner on the Gibson. I hope I'm doing this okay. This is a little bit more rounded neck, but not really fat, okay? And like a 50s neck, but it's fatter than this one. What else? The pickups are the same, at least that's what they say. The pickups are exactly the same. And construction-wise, both have long tenon necks, and I think there's a bit of difference here on the bridges. This bridge is different from the Gibson one. Yep, I got this one right. And because I can't recall the name now, but I put the specs here on the screen somewhere. One of the good things about this kind of bridge is the fact that when you're replacing strings, it doesn't fall off like on the Gibson, on every Gibson, right? In terms of construction, I really have nothing to say about this guitar. They're a little bit different, but you know, I think they did a great job, man. It's really hard sometimes to tell them apart if you're not looking for specifics, you know. In terms of electronics, like I said, the pickups are the same. Now the wiring, I really don't know, so I'm going to put that on the screen as well. I think it's different. Grover tuners, they are the same, and let me put this here on the ground now. The headstock angle is different. It's more pronounced on the Gibson one than on the Epiphone. I don't know why, I have no idea. Thrust rod, we threw 3 screws instead of 2, right? Because you have a normal adjustment here. Here you have that, you know, Gibson thrust rod adjustment. And I can see perfectly from here, I can see the wood grain here, and here is totally black. But they both have mother of pearl inlays, although on the Gibson, you guys probably can't see that on the camera, but they have more of a 3D effect to it, okay, than on the Epiphone. But that's just a detail, I think. Grover tuners exactly the same, probably. If they're not the same, they're basically equal. And one thing that on the Gibson, I can lower the strings more than on the Epiphone. For now, that's my experience. Maybe it has to do with the nut, because the nuts are very different. You can see this nut is very, not high, but it's very different from the Gibson. The Gibson's like, well, it has to be better built, right? At least for the price, because this is, when I bought it, it was a little bit more, well, it wasn't so expensive as it is right now. And this one, the Gibson, is not like 5 times better than this one. But for example, the nut is cut in a totally different way. This is very low, okay? This is also low, but the height of the nut regarding to, in relation to the headstock, this one is huge and this one is very small. That, I don't know, some stuff. When I was looking to that camera, those kind of specifics, I'm a pro when it comes to Gibson guitars, but I love my Les Paul Custom. It's one of my dream guitars that I had the chance to buy. I rarely play it because, you know, I want to keep it in shape, because I know you guys are gonna say you better play it. I play it when I need to play it, but you know, in the long run, you never know if I'm gonna sell it or not. So you better keep it in good shape, okay? And that's basically it. I mean, there's a binding just like one and the other. Fret nips, this one doesn't have, right? This one has. And but that just, you know, cosmetic and stuff like that. Maybe they're made by hand, I don't know, but they're pretty much equal, you know. I was holding this one thinking it was the Epiphone. So let's start with the Gibson. I'll put this here, hope it doesn't knock on the wood, and I'm using the Marshall, like I said, and I'm going through 4 channels, like clean, grunge, more grunge, and then obviously distortion. So this was the bridge pickup. I think guitar is in tune, sort of. I was letting this ring because I did the test here, recording with I'm using, by the way, SM57, going to a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th generation, and then Logic over there, and I tested it out, and in terms of sustain, this was just had a little bit more sustain than that one, but you know, that can change depending on various factors. But this is a bridge pickup on the Gibson. A little bit of distortion because of the Marshall. Better tune my guitar. Wait a second. Okay, I think it's better now. Now both pickups. Just regular chords. Now the neck pickup. By the way, they have the exact same strings, brand, Ernie Ball 09s, and the same string height. I mean, this one's a little bit lower because, like I said, probably has to do with the nut, but in the middle of the strings, you know, this G and the D are a bit lower than on the Epiphone. Because I've had some Epiphones, and I still have one, the Jerry Cantrell signature Epiphone, but the Epiphones previously that I had always had issues with frets and stuff like that, and this switch would always fall apart with time. That one doesn't seem to be like that. But anyways, now the neck pickup. I think it's better to go right into the next guitar, still with a clean tone, and then don't fall apart, please, and then compare it with more distortion. So right now, I think this one is in tune. Bridge pickup, brighter. First thing that I notice, but acoustically, and then I'll pick that up. This one is a little bit louder, okay? Probably because of the density of the woods, I don't know. Since I don't believe in tone woods, or just a small, like 1% or less, pickups are the same, right? Now, both. Great sustain on these two guitars. At the end of the video, I'll record like 2 clips, distortion and clean, using Logic so you can compare A and B really fast, okay? Bridge again. A little bit edgier. At least seems to me. Now let's go totally acoustic. Okay, I think I could make a better video about this, but anyways, here it goes. A little bit more muffled, but anyways, that's the way it is. So let's go for the crunch channel right now. Going straight into the third channel, so you don't waste too much time. And on the Gibson, now on the neck pickup. Both pickups. Let's go back to the bridge one. First thing I noticed when I got this guitar was like the sustain was almost crazy. Out of tune. Going. This one's a little bit easier to play. I was double checking. Because I just measured the string height, and I like to use it like 1.5 millimeters on the IE and 2 here, and this one is like that. The other one is a little bit lower because in the middle the strings are a little bit higher. Yeah, and it's probably about the nut, but anyways, it's well cut so far. I have no issues in noises. Back on the neck. Oh, the volume. On the bridge. While our ears are still fresh, let's go for the sister. Not a good place to be, but anyways, let's go for the Epiphone and do the same thing, or sort of the same thing. New strings. So that's totally normal. To be honest, I can't hear much of a difference, man. Tiny little bit, but... That one has a little bit more bass here in the room. Microphone probably won't tell that. And this one is more edgy, although the pickups are the same. So, I don't know. Maybe due to the pots, I don't know. Basically the same sustain. If you make a mistake, do it again. So the audience thinks it's on purpose. And you guys, if you guys know me, I'm always making mistakes when I'm recording because I hate that red light over there. Just the way it is. Now them playing one at a time, they're really similar, man. Well, maybe the strings being brand new will give more of an edgy tone. That one, the strings are there for a while now. Not too long, but it hasn't been played. So there's a factor to have in consideration. So I had to lower more the strings here in order to have the same action. But unlike the other Epiphones that I had, it doesn't have issues with frets. My Jerry Cantrell has a lot of issues with frets, you know? And this thing is always going apart. I don't know why. It's almost impossible to have a really low action on that Epiphone. So I think they have stepped up their game, you know? Okay, let's give it more gain and see how it sounds. Let's start with the Epiphone. Now it's on the ultra gain channel, but the gain is at noon. And then I'll engage the Toushscreen there. Let's engage our two screamers just for fun. So you got a more metal tone here without messing around with EQ. And although both guitars have that ebony fingerboard, on the Gibson one, it's a little more treated, so you don't feel, and you can see more wood grain than here. Sometimes here already polished this because it came in a situation where you had, like, you know, that from the frets as well, hard to, not hard, but you had that some noise over there. But right now it's much more cleaner. Probably it didn't come as clean from the factory, but it's probably normal given the price point. But it's sustained as the other one, basically. The feeling that I have is that as I'm playing, it sounds a little bit hollower, okay? It sounds fantastic, but instead the feeling that I have is like there's some, it's totally wrong what I'm going to say, but if there's like holes inside of it, but they're both totally, I mean, the body has no holes to it. 9 holes, cheese, none of that shit. So, okay. Get the Gibson again, but this guitar is great, man. I'm loving this guitar. I really am. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out which is which. This one, you can see totally the grain of the wood grain, and they're both very good to get dust, you know. So I'm going to disengage the tube screamer and just go for the lead channel here. If I have any sound, oh. Little darker, okay? They don't sound totally the same, although they have the same pickup, so in theory, they should sound exactly the same, right? Since the wood doesn't make any difference. But there's also a lot of variables involved, you know, especially the tone pots, I don't know, something. Definitely easier to play on this one. You have lower string. Okay. More rounded tone on this one, that's that, but you can compensate with your EQ. Now, engaging the tube screamer, if I can reach out for some metal tones. And I've done some metal packs with this guitar and totally delivers, and the gain is at noon. I'm just adding a booster, basically, so there's not much distortion. This is normal for my place because of all the equipment here. getting out of tune, but this guitar also needs to be stretched out, because like I said, I rarely use it. So conclusions. Well, to be honest, guys, this is a hard one. I never thought that this guitar, running out of batteries, this guitar, they both shine on the light, would be, how can I say this, basically as good as the Gibson, sound-wise and playability-wise. So, I mean, what you want from a guitar, you gotta ask yourself that, you know. I don't like politics, I don't like, but I must say Gibson is not the best company out there, you know what I mean, in terms of policies and stuff like that regarding other brands. But I do love their guitars, and I must admit that. I don't use any tape here to cover the logo, because I really love their guitar. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to have a Les Paul. Now I have too many. You can have too many, right? Can't have. Okay. But this one is really, you know, I never thought I'd say this, but it plays as well, sounds as good. I'm sorry guys, my other camera just went out. I don't have any idea what I was talking about, and because it only records 30 minutes, better turn it off before it goes totally bad. And like I was saying, I don't know, sincerely, they are so good right now, and given the fact that I had other Epiphones that weren't as good as this one, and sometimes the trouble that I have finding which one is which, that should tell me something. And really, they stepped up their game. So this guitar, if you don't want to spend like $5,000 on a Les Paul Custom, you want a great guitar, a custom guitar worth of its name, you know, it's basically a Gibson, man. And the serial number is stamped here on the back, you know, like a Les Paul, like a Gibson. So it's really great. So this is going much longer than I predicted, the video. And I'm gonna do some comparison tests and put on the screen so it can be better than doing this, moving around guitars. But I'm amazed, man. I am. I never thought Epiphone would do something like that. So many thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet, and stay tuned for more. Next time I'm gonna try with my Boss Katana that I have over there. This time I use a tube amp just for the sake for being different. See you on the next one. Cheers.